Everyone, welcome back to the channel here. Just make this one a little, very short here, and I want to talk about the sheet rinse method when it comes to washing a car. So I just finished washing the Impala here, and I just made a video on the 6-month update for the Jade stuff, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to sheet rinse the car. Let me show you how it's done. A lot of people tend to kind of not use this method. They once they rinse the car off with their pressure washer or their hose or whatever it may be, primarily a pressure washer because most people like using a pressure washer when they wash the car. They have a lot of water left on the surface. And so then they come back and then they either use a blower or they just dry with their favorite drying aid. I actually prefer to sheet rinse the car, and I'll show you why I enjoy using it. And then people get on me because it's like, you're not using the drying aid the right way. It's like, well, what is the proper way? There is no proper way to use a drying aid. Meaning you can use it if you have a lot of water on the surface. You can use it if you don't have a lot of water on the surface. It doesn't really matter how you use a drying aid. I think people get carried away is because they think that's the ultimate end way to do it, is if you have lots of water on the surface. Sure, that works, but just keep in mind that the more water you have on the surface, the more you're going to dilute the product. So let me go ahead and show you the sheet rinse method, not technology, but sheet rinse method. Using a pressure washer, you are going to need the Keve nozzle here with your pressure washer. Turn the pressure washer off. You can do that. You can do this with a hose. Works perfectly fine with the hose. I did with the hose for many years. So let's go ahead and flip the camera over. And I'm going to see if I can do this on camera. Because normally I tend to like to have two hands so that I can grab the hose here with the other so I don't scratch the paint. But I think I'm going to use my leg here. So let's see. You're going to want to get this at the proper angle. And then once you do it, then you're going to just go ahead and just push the water off the surface. And you can see that I've sheet rinsed a lot of water off. Again, you're going to play around with the angle here, and if you have like this edge here, see how I hit this edge right here? They kind of made it, all that water just kind of pick up on the edge. But again, I can just continue doing my sheet rinse method, and I've essentially pushed all that water off the surface, which means less water to kind of clean up. So again, you would do the same thing with the, other surface like this here. Just kind of take your nozzle, do it, and you can see I almost have no water on the panel. So just kind of keep playing around with the angle here. I just want to kind of just show it. Let's see if I can do this side over here as well. So you can see I still have some standing water here on the hood. And so if I get the proper angle, let's start from the hood, the center here. I can actually adjust that. Dry off the entire hood almost completely with water. I'm taking advantage of the protection I have on the paint, meaning the ceramic coating that's on there, to dry the surface off completely. Again, you're still going to probably be left with some few spots of water here and there, like here and there. And again, this is where you come with your drying aids, spritz it on the paint or your towel, dry it off, and you're good to go. So I just want to give you guys a quick little demonstration of the sheet rinse method here. I think it's a dying method because not too many people do this. Those of us that came from the forum world, like myself, those of us who were like on AutoGeek for a long time, Mike Phillips actually spoke about the sheet rinse method during the wash process. And as you can see, I'm drying the surface with water. Again, you have to have a good layer of protection on the surface in order for it to work. If you have no protection on the surface, it's not going to work for you because the water is going to stand there. So again, you want to have a good layer of protection, whether it's a ceramic coating, a wax, or a spray sealant, or a polymer paint sealant, whatever it may be. You want a good layer of protection that's hydrophobic so you can do this. If you have a sheet rinse product too, it'll work. But again, just if you have no protection, it's not going to work very well for you because the water is going to stand there. And then just come back, and if you want to use a blower at this point, you can blow off the remaining parts of the surface here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just dry this off with the Ego blower, just blow most of that excess water off. And I'll just come back and touch up any spots that remain on the surface. I'll just put a little drying aid on my towel and just go over the surface, and I'm good to go. So again, there is multiple ways to use a drying aid. You don't have to have a lot of water on the surface in order for it to use. There's no preferred method. How can I say this? There's no standard method when it comes to using a drying aid. You can come back and use it to touch up any remaining residue. You can use it when you have a lot of water. Just keep in mind that your drying aid does have protection in it. that's going to be diluted down with all that water on the surface. So if you want to maximize the protection, get as much water off the surface, and you're going to use it more like a topper. But again, you're still coming back to remove any standing water that may be on the surface. It just helps you in the end to dry things off. So hopefully that kind of helps on the topic of the sheet rinse method and also the topic of how to use a drying aid and whatnot. So again, thanks guys. I'll catch you next one. Take care everyone.